This time, I'd like to call to order the June 8, 2011 Zoning Commission meeting. Let the record show that Commissioners Bob Nance and Susanna Zarazua Gray Dean are absent. All other commissioners are present. It's time to entertain a motion on the acceptance of the June 8, 2011 proposed agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Sadler.
I think item 5 would be better that we approve our minutes before we have public comment. So could we amend the amended, wherever we are amended agenda? Moving 5 above number 4, please.
I have a motion to amend our proposed amended agenda, moving item 5, acceptance of the minutes of the May 11th, 2011 Zoning Commission meeting to in front of item 4, which is the public comment period. So basically just swapping items 4 and 5. Is there a second?
Second.
Yes, got it.
I have a second by Commissioner Dalton. Any opposition or discussion? Motion passes.
So the amended agenda is not adopted?
So now we get to vote on the acceptance of the June 8th, 2011 proposed amended agenda.
I move we accept the minutes from our previous meeting.
Second.
Wait a minute, Commissioner. We're voting on the acceptance of the agenda.
My bad, I apologize. I move that we accept the amended agenda.
Second.
Have a motion to accept the June 8th, 11th proposed amended agenda and seconded. Is there any opposition or discussion? Motion passes.
Can we say amended?
Yeah.
Long night.
Try and say it 3 times fast.
Long night.
All right. Item 4, acceptance of the minutes of the May 11th, 2011 Zoning Commission meeting.
I so move.
I have a
Second.
motion to approve by Commissioner Sadley, seconded by Commissioner Kluwat. Any opposition, discussion? Motion passes. Item 5, public comment period. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on any items, please come up, sign in with the secretary, and get your 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to speak, public comment period is closed. Item 6, public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map for recommendation for approval or denial to the Ascension Parish Council. 6A, zoning review ID 2161.11, lot 147, Darrow, for Tory Scott. Yes, sir. Go ahead, ma'am, please.
Okay, we're interested in presenting to you what our plans are, is to have the zoning done in our area, because we're planning to do a home restaurant, family-oriented restaurant. So it has been presented to us that we need to come and present what we're interested in doing.
Okay. Comments or questions from commissioners? All right, there's no comments or questions from commissioners at this time. We'll open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on this item, please sign in with the secretary, and you'll get your 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to speak. Public comment period on this item is closed. Comments or questions from commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Sadler.
I see that the staff recommends denial of this application because it's rezoning from C conservation to mixed use 2. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So would that be an example of spot zoning again?
Possibly, yes, sir.
Possibly.
Yes.
Okay. But you do recommend denial.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Mr. Dalton.
Not to pick apart the staff comments, but the little one-liner there that says, "The public was very vocal in this area stating they wanted it to remain conservation zoning." Was there a meeting that we're not aware of or something?
There were 11 meetings where we discussed the master plan, and the meeting in Darrow they were very vocal that they wanted no commercial ever in the Darrow area.
But, okay, I was just inferring there might have been something specific to this application.
No, sir.
You're talking, okay, that's fine, thank you.
Well, I think, Commissioner Chair, I think the issue here also is that, this is a small parcel of land that's fronting on a residential street and in the middle of a residential neighborhood, and I think it's probably not the best suited for commercial use, so its location, it doesn't, it's not, would not be in keeping with the character of the area. The reason is to commercial.
And that was also a concern I had. That's, if I'm looking at this right, it looks like it's about 68 feet wide by 150 foot long. I don't even know if it would make the site plan requirements as far as for a commercial business, so.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Kluwat.
Oh, I visit the site. Is it that whole corner, or is just that one strip
The one
next to
strip.
the existing home that's there? Because it's also surrounded by existing homes, a home on the right side and a trailer in the back, residential homes.
It was one strip,
It's that one little strip where that boat's at.
yes,
Okay. In other words, it's not the piece of land on the corner even.
no. But we were not aware that a meeting had been taking place in the Darrow area in reference to this matter.
It wasn't in reference to this matter. It was in reference to the zoning of the property in the Darrow area.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When was the meeting called and who called it?
The meeting was in regards to our, the revision of our master plan last year. And that was, I'm trying to remember what date that was. Something, yeah, yeah.
I heard you say the Darrow Committee. I mean, nobody in Darrow know anything about a committee.
This was at the community center in Darrow. That's where we
We
had
don't
it.
know anything about a committee. I mean, you saying a committee.
No, there was no.
No, a community, not community.
There's no committee. It was there were 11 meetings held, one in each district. And for District 3, that's where the meeting was held, was in the Darrow Community
So what
Center.
you saying is no commercial business in Darrow? That's what
The people in the Darrow area were talking about keeping the existing property zoned
I have something I wanna say. First of all-
conservation.
First of all, the people in Darrow, I mean, I have a voice in Darrow. I mean, I haven't said anything about that. We have noise all night from Cooper T. Smith stevedore. I mean, nobody complained about that. All night. Dust coming across the levee. You got noise, pollution all night. Nobody complains about it. That is a big business in Darrow. A real big business. No one complains about it. I mean, I'm trying to take one little piece of property and turn it into commercial for a small business. I mean, everybody's saying they rode by the properties. When was the last time somebody rode by the community park?
Mr. Chairman.
They don't even have running water in the community park. I'm just trying to do something positive, sir.
I
I mean, I understand what you're saying. You saying everybody went around and doing all of this. Darrow is a place where nobody comes. Nobody. We don't even have a restroom in the park, in a community park in Darrow, and that's part of this parish. We don't even have a restroom. We're using a porta can. You see what I'm saying? So Darrow has a voice. I mean, I'm part of Darrow. No one told me anything about a meeting.
But I'm concerned of why weren't we informed about this meeting that was going to discuss the issues for our area?
There were numerous public notices that went out. This all took place last year, and there were numerous public notices that went out, informing everybody where these locations were for these meetings. So I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Because as I recall, we noticed in the newspaper, there was radio, TV, and when I say the newspaper, I think there was it wasn't just the local newspapers, it was also the Morning Advocate. Of course, it was on the Parish website. I can't remember. Help me out, Ricky, because there was some.
Ascension website, Twitter, Facebook. There were flyers, everything was handed out.
But it-
August 26, 2010, and about 95 people showed up.
But again, you said that the people voted to keep
No,
it.
no.
No. The people that attended expressed.
So, but it's not
There-
legal. It's not legal. They just said that they don't want it commercial. There's nothing on documented down there that is, you know, they just speaking that they don't want a commercial.
Correct.
Okay, so what steps do I need to take?
Mr. Chairman. Sir, I have a great empathy for what you're saying, but the property is, you are aware, not zoned for commercial
I understand that.
use.
I
But
understand.
can it
That's
be
why-
revised?
That's why I'm here, to get
That's,
it revised.
and that's what you're doing that right now by coming to this commission. You've applied for as far as a rezoning request, and that's what we're in the process of doing right now. Mr. Kluwat.
Mr. Ricky and Lance, this piece of property, is it big enough to do what he wants to do? Because when I visited the property Monday, I was kind of under the impression that it was the whole corner, but if she's saying it's just a small strip, that's not a very big piece of property. I don't know how big they can build a restaurant, but that's not a very big piece of property.
But it has an existing, there are 2 houses there. Well, it's 3, one that he lives in and 2 for potential businesses.
That was
Are you
already
saying there's
planned for.
existing homes there that you want to do this with?
There's
Yes.
existing buildings.
Would you come forward, please? Okay.
I see what you're talking about.
Where would you put parking?
That's right on the side?
Right here?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Because this is the house you're talking about, right here on the corner. These 2 are the buildings right here. So you put parking right there.
I'm on the back of that's perfect.
Oh, in the back over here. Okay. And, folks, let me explain to you, okay? You're coming here tonight, and when we vote, our vote is simply to send a recommendation to the parish council. The parish council will have the final vote on this. So all we're doing is making a recommendation to the parish council. But you're going through the process right now of, you know, you're trying to change the zoning of your property, and this is the process. Okay. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If there's no comments or questions from the commissioners, what's the wish of the commission?
I feel for what you're trying to do, and I understand your desires, but it's just simply not consistent with the whole intent of the zoning ordinance and the whole intent of the development code. So I'm going to make a motion to recommend denial of the rezoning as the requested zoning is not consistent with the character of the neighborhood and the use of the property.
I have a motion to recommend denial of this request to the parish council by Julio Dumas based on the inconsistency with the current uses of the property. Is there a second?
Yes.
Seconded by Commissioner Milton Kluwat. Discussion. There's no discussion, then we'll go ahead and vote. Mr. Dalton.
Yes.
Mr. Barrow.
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Kluwat.
Yes.
Mr. Sadler.
Yes.
Mr. Esnard.
Yes.
Motion passes. As I said, folks, this is just a recommendation. It will go to the parish council, and they'll take the issue up. Item 7, public hearing to request a conditional use for a telecommunication tower.
Evening, gentlemen. Woody Krogh, 610 North Olympia Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. Representing AT&T Mobility and Southern Tower Antenna Rental, as well as landowners Glenn and Brenda White in this matter. Request approval of our application as submitted.
Any comments or questions from commissioners?
Yes. I only have one concern, the access to the tower itself. It looks like you're accessing it from a private driveway.
A portion of the access will be on the existing, yes, driveway.
And
correct.
that is the people you're renting it from?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Not, then we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to come up and address the commission on this item, please sign in with the secretary, and you'll get your 3 minutes to speak. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, gentlemen. My name is Anthony Babin. First meeting I've attended. I want to compliment you guys. I think y'all doing a great job.
Thank you.
I just got a few questions and hoping that you guys might be able to answer some of it, or sorry, I don't recall the name. Mr. Crow would be able to answer. Are there any expected tower radiation levels? You know, on TV, it just seems like my neighbor was asking me about if it's okay if they can put a tower there, and I think it's going to be like 75 feet away from my property line. And of course, you hear all the commercials, you know, about they're worried about the young kids. They're not worried about us old geezers, but the young kids, you know, they're worried about them getting cancer and what have you from cell phone usage. So I'm just wondering, you know, if that's a possibility, then how much possibility is there from the tower itself when it's going to be right here in my backyard? Also, I got concerns about reduction in property costs, property value. Having a big tower, you know, I mean, is it okay to build a home right next to a big tower, something that's, you know, that close to it? And again, I think I've already mentioned radiation levels. Are there any radiation levels from a tower? I'm just not sure.
As far as RF radio frequency radiation is concerned, you know, the tower is going to be 195 feet tall is what we're looking for. So obviously the antenna could be almost 200 feet above the ground. You know, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about, you know, the cancer possibilities, but you know, I can tell you this. I guarantee you, we're well within FCC guidelines as far as safety for RF emissions, and you know, that's really all I can say about that. As far as property values, I guess, yeah, like you say, the tower will be 75 feet or so off your property line. I'm assuming you're on the south side? Okay. You know, as far as building however close you want to, whatever the parish allows you to build up, you know, you can build wherever you want on your property as long as it's okay with the parish, obviously. So, I don't know if that answers your question, but as far as property values goes, I mean, there's been studies done that, you know, it is a concern, obviously, but, you know, there are studies, and I can send you some information, but, you know, you probably want to get it yourself, because I might be a biased person. But anyway, there are studies out there that have been done that do not show a decrease in property values just because you're next to a cell phone tower. And, you know, as it is nowadays, you know, everybody wants their phone to work in their house and everywhere they go. So, you know, unfortunately, we do have to have towers kind of close to houses occasionally. So, you know, I don't know if that satisfies you or not.
Would you, Mr. Crow, if you would you come up here and on this map indicate where the cell tower is going to be located? Yeah, you can just put a text down where it's, give me a little bit better idea. I was looking.
Right about where you got the 1A there.
Okay.
It's well back from, it's over 400.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, there's a radius on there that shows the distance to the nearest structure, trailer that's on the parent track.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? All right, we only had one person sign up, so public comment period on this item is closed. If there's no other comments or questions from commissioners, what's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move this be approved as written.
I have a motion to approve as written by Howard Dalton,
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
seconded by Dan Satterley. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll go ahead and vote.
Yes.
Mr. Dalton, Mr. Barrow.
Yes.
Mr. Dumas abstains. Mr. Kluwat.
Yes.
Mr. Satterley.
Yes.
Mr. Esnarn.
Yes.
Motion passes. Of course, item 8 was removed from the agenda. Item 9, new business. Are there any items of new business the commissioners would like to bring before the full body? None. Item 10, unfinished business. No items of unfinished business. Item 11, our zoning subcommittee report. I believe you're going to be delivering that tonight, Commissioner Satterley.
Oh, that's correct, Mr. Chairman. Let me just begin by saying the reason I'm doing this, I'm not the chair of that committee for the record, but Bob Nance is, but he was ill and called me and asked me to go ahead and chair. I'd like to also say that we didn't conduct any official business in terms of making motions and actually voting to make recommendations and things of that nature, because we couldn't, like Mr. Kluwat, get a quorum. So, Mr. Chairman, without whipping that dog any further, or that horse, I encourage you in all your efforts to try to increase attendance on these subcommittees so that we can conduct the people's business. That said, what did we discuss? The main topic for action that we couldn't really do any action on was the removal of the PUD overlays in districts 2 and 3. There were vigorous discussions had. Several members, 3 or 4 from the public were there. I heard comments like the PUD ordinance should be overlay ordinance should be abolished because anything over 3 acres has to be a PUD. Industrial uses can go into residential areas, et cetera, et cetera. But again, we couldn't act on any of this. So I encourage those folks to come back at a future meeting when we hopefully have a quorum and enough people there to come to some decisions. And basically that's it. The next meeting, as I understand it, will be at 6 p.m. again. That would be a week from today. And it will be, of course, at DPW.
All right. And one of the things, and I guess I should go ahead and announce it now, since I did neglect to announce it in the Planning Commission meeting, but we will be holding a bylaws subcommittee also next week, next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Yes, and Commissioner Sadley, I'll also go ahead and repeat some of my comments from the Planning Commission meeting. The subcommittees, the commission is in need of these subcommittees to take care and do the legwork, the research for the recommendations that we send to the parish council and for the handling our business. Once again, if there's a commissioner that cannot or does not want to serve on a subcommittee, please submit something to me in writing. Let me know, so we can go ahead and make arrangements and we can have enough people serving on our subcommittees. Of course, we understand scheduling conflicts, but communicate with us. Let us know what's taking place. And Commissioner Sadley, I'd like to ask you for the time being until we find out with Commissioner Nance, would you go ahead and continue to serve on the as the chairman of the zoning subcommittee?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would accept that responsibility.
And for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint myself to sit on the zoning subcommittee so we can, while Commissioner Nance is out. Item 12, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Kluwat,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sadley. Discussion, opposition. Motion passes. We are adjourned.